Let's make a figure. But first, context. This channel is mostly known for stop motion animation and occasionally making stuff with paper. But once upon a forever time ago, I said custom figures, which is one of the things that I wanted to try for a very long time. 2024 is coming to an end, and so I decided to make good on that promise. I got this 3D pen some time ago, and this is my attempt at making action figure, an articulated action figure. I will first preface this video by saying that I am not a sculptor. I can barely draw 2D, and now I'm going to do it in 3D. And for those who don't know, 3D stands for 3 different dumb directions. What? Did you write this, ChatGPT? Oh. Moving on. Because I never used this tool before and I never made stuff before, well, that's not true. I made stuff with paper on the channel, but never with 3D filament before. So you and I will have to set our expectations low. Did you set your expectation yet? Good. Now put it even lower. Now, you probably think that how hard can this be? Just imagine drawing in 3D instead of 2D, right? Well, that's the idea, but now we need a plan. First, we need to think of a figure. I'd imagine it needs a frame, a head, maybe a face, and some appendages. So let's fill the filament up, switched it on, make sure it's in the right temperature, and perfect. Now we just need to, for the lack of a better term, draw it. And make sure it can stand up. And we're done. This is the first figure. Kind of. But this figure isn't very good. Plus it's not very articulated. So let's start again with a better design. Right after I have a cup of joe that I made in the opening sequence. That is a good cup of joe. Well, would you look at that? This is the simple design that I've made. Look at this masterpiece. It's definitely not going to look anything like this by the end of this video, but we're gonna try anyway and do our best. This isn't perfect, of course, but it's a start, and yes, I'm totally leveraging my previous experience working with paper. The idea here is to cut the paper, assemble it, and trace it out with the filament to create somewhat of a frame with the negative space. Now, I would love to make everything from scratch, especially designing and making the joints for the articulated figure. However, that would take too long, and I want to get this video out for you guys just before Christmas. So I went ahead and borrowed some Figma figures that I have lying around in the studio, as well as third-party ones that I got online. So if you're wondering, yes, I cheated, okay? What do you want from me, mate? The next step is to fill the filament into the paper frame. In no particular order, here's the upper torso. I noticed that doing this gives a smooth texture by touch, which you can tell by the light reflecting off the material, but it does give that spaghetti-like texture look, and I basically did the rest of the component this way and hoping for the best. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who shared my videos, especially if you supported me on Patreon. I was able to get through some not so minor setbacks this year because of your support, and for that I really appreciate it. painstakingly turning this into all of this, it's time to put them together. And there it is. As someone who handles and animates figures for videos, I give a score to myself of 4 out of 10, as in it doesn't look too terrible. 4 out of 10. Now if you don't look too closely, it looks passable, but a quick inspection will show you that there's a tons of holes, literally. But as a prototype and test messing around with 3D pen to make this articulatable figure with Figma and other third-party joints, I think I didn't do too terrible. I mean, it's a start and I can finally say that I've made an articulatable figure. Sure, if I spend more time fixing it, refining it further, sanding it, even polishing it, I think I'll definitely look much better. But I wanted to get this done before this year ends, and it was more difficult than I thought, and I learned a lot from it. But what do you think? Is it a 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10? Any score lower isn't acceptable. And if you do, I'll visit you in your dreams tonight, judging you silently. Jokes aside, this experiment is obviously not perfect, and I know if I had more time, I could do much better. Which is why I'll probably work on it on my own time off camera. And if you want to see a part 2 of this, me fixing it, or making it more presentable, making a figure with a different material, let me know down in the comments. And if you're curious about other materials, check out the time I made a tiny sword from paper, or the same material with armor. That's it for this video and 2024. This is the Animator. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays or Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. And I'll see you next year. Take care.